That's right. Except for whales, you can't have any of my tropical smoothie.
No, you cannot.
No, I already told you. You can't have it.
Yeah. So what you can do is go to the 1,400 plus locations. Any one of them. And
preferably not near the water if you don't want those whales asking for some of your smoothie.
They get very greedy. They essentially become seagulls. You know, they come out of the woodwork. You're like, how are there thousands of you? Because it's guava. Because it's mango.
It's mango. It's berries.
It's berries. It's mint. It's mojitos and more. Hi, hello, and how are you? It's another Below Deck podcast. My name is Dylan, and that is Pat.
Permission to come aboard.
Granted. Dude, what's up?
Nothing.
Dude, you know, you and I just spoke to the loveliest woman, the Balkan Biscuit herself, Ellie. Just a lovely interview about perspective, about
how you approach life as a happier person.
Yeah, you know, I gotta adjust mine too.
You want me to vamp while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy talking to her because you don't see it that often. I haven't heard her. Actually, you know what? She does talk some massive shit about coworkers. So she can get in the mud a little bit. But her perspective on overall life and how you should...
Hey. Who doesn't love mud every once in a while?
That's true. You know what? I don't trust a person that won't talk a little shit.
I can't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stand it. It drives me nuts when people won't go there with you. It's like, what are we doing? We're not fucking selling him out to the SS. We're just talking about how he's fucking late all the time.
Yeah, Nathan has bad breath.
What the fuck?
Come on.
You know, I got to tell you, man, it is a marvel that I am here right now because Daddy just got Diablo. I know many of you have said that I need to get Dragon's Dogma 2. I will get around to it. But Daddy's got Diablo 4 now. And
what is that? Is that weed talk or something?
He's so stupid. What the fuck? No, I'm doing a druid build right now. Big guy. He plays kind of tanky. His name's Oak.
Oh.
So that's been a lot of fun. But like I said, it's a miracle that I showed up here today.
Oh, good.
But we are here, and we are here to talk about Below Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Yes.
I had so much fun with this episode.
Well, that's refreshing.
Yes, it was an 88-pod episode. It was quintessential incompetence thrust upon the wealthy. And it's not even a wealthy that we really like. I mean, it's a wealthy that
I don't like Gigi.
I mean, it's so many soliloquies about center court and whatnot. So it was just a blast. We've got messy love triangles going. I mean, Gail, who loves her boyfriend, is an Arrested Development character. I mean, it is the funniest fucking thing how much she loves her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was just an amazing episode, 88 pots.
Wow. Okay. I liked it not as much as you did. But what I caught was I love when Captain Sandy joins dinner. Yeah. It rarely goes well. She's like, you ever see that movie, The Cooler? I think Alec Baldwin's in it and William H. Macy.
I actually, when I was younger, I pleasured myself to Maria Bello in that film.
Oh, she's very attractive.
So beautiful in that film. But what a sick little puppy I was.
Not at all.
I mean, it's a film about, you know, depression and loneliness, you know.
Yeah, quick sidebar. If you still got a fan of Maria Bello, check her out in History of Violence in that cheerleading outfit. Ooh.
All right. I'm sorry that I pushed us down that slope.
Oh, yeah. Cooler. The Cooler, it's a film where whenever someone's winning in Vegas, like they're really hot at the tables, William H. Macy was hired by the casino. He'd go stand next to him.
Yeah, he has kind of necrotic energy.
He sweats bad luck. Mm-hmm. That's what Captain Sandy is to dinners.
Yeah.
She sits down, and it's a horrific experience for all.
Can I tell you, thank you so much for bringing us all the way back around the... What are those places that Native Americans live at?
Tribe?
No, that's a grouping.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. The reservation.
Reservation. Yeah. No reservation. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So anyway, Sandy's a cooler. And then has anybody else noticed that Sandy and Gigi, they look like sisters?
Yeah.
They are. They're good buddies over there.
They do.
Anyway, I enjoyed the episode. I, too, enjoyed it because it is, in fact, incompetence being thrust on the wealthy.
Hey, thrust. Hey. Oh, I cannot wait. Do you remember when the ice cream was soup next to the cake? I mean, I can't wait to get into this episode.
I'd love to look at their Instagram and all the lovely pictures of those from those photos from the dinner.
Yeah. Right. No, but I think many fans will be delighted to hear that. I don't think we're gonna have to wade too deep into any of the Halliburton waters that we waded into last week because there's just so much meat on this bone. So let's get into the episode. Pat, where do we begin?
Oh, okay. So this is a great start. So it's where we left off. Clearly, Gigi's up in that bridge with her best friend and sister, Captain Sandy, and the deconstructed sponge cake seemed like a fancy little title for a mistake, and I agree with that. And the eggs were cold, and they were cold like her right hand was during that half volley in the first set of that fourth Grand Slam title.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Right.
By the way, you hang out with Gigi, don't ever tell her your dog died or something like that. She'll find a way to talk about tennis and how awesome she is. I don't like Gigi. Ugh.
Dude, I keep saying that word. I've said dude like the fucking turtle from Finding Nemo too many times already, so I'm going to try to stop.
Well, you know what? It's a trigger for me, Dylan. I've mentioned this on our other show that we do called Another Podcast Show, which you should check out on the Bad TV feed. Once a week, Dylan and I just talk about whatever is top of mind, and I bitch about my friendships.
Yeah.
And mainly, the last couple episodes, I talk about how my friends, I'll go out to lunch with them or a happy hour. 45 minutes passes. We've had a couple cocktails. They haven't asked me a damn thing about myself. They're like Gigi. All they do is talk about themselves for an hour.
Yeah.
Do you have those friends?
You got to ask people about themselves, okay? And that's classic Malcolm, what's his name? Greenwald, what's his name? The guy that wrote all the laws that you love to use to manipulate people.
I forget his name, but the book's called The 48 Laws of Power.
Right, yeah. Ask people about themselves, it'll get you a long way.
It absolutely does, and Gigi doesn't do that, and neither do some of my closest friends. They should have a me-off date.
Yeah, the last episode of APS, if it's in the Bad TV feed, I felt I was a little worried about it just because
Well, you hurt my feelings. You called my friends losers.
No, that was at Patreon.
Oh.
And I did feel bad about that. And I texted you after. I said I was having a bad day. I don't know what's gotten into me.
That's okay. We all have bad days. See how good I am? You're talking about yourself, and I'm encouraging you.
Okay. But no, we broke down Therians and bearded vulture Therians.
And people that think they're cats.
Well, people that are cats. So, obviously, this meeting is anticlimactic, and Sandy says, hey, listen, no problem that you served, rotting cold eggs to my Gigi. More on that at 5. So, yeah.
Hold on. We're not moving out of that conversation, are we?
I was planning on.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're referring to when Sandy calls Jono up to the bridge, and he doesn't attempt to spin on those cold eggs. He basically says, hey, Sandy, look, I made them at 8:30, and because the guests got up at 10:30, clearly the eggs were going to be cold.
Hey, guy, this guy's getting fired next episode, if not the beginning of the 5th episode. 100%.
I want to remind the audience, in episode 1, I predicted episode 5. I think I might be right. However, more talk about Jono. I want to tell Jono this. Jono, I understand your explanation, and I appreciate that you're being completely transparent and honest about your horrible fuck up.
Right.
But you're not a chef at a prison.
Right.
Okay, this is a super yacht. Like, hey, Jono, my eggs are cold. Well, you strangled your grandmother to death while she was sleeping, so eat cold eggs, motherfucker.
Eat cold eggs, motherfucker.
No, I'm a rich person, and I'm paying for warm eggs.
Yeah, Gigi can't go to prison for boasting about her tennis accomplishments, regardless of whether or not we think she should. But Jono is one of those people that So Jono is one of those people that they give you very transparent answers, and they're the markings of someone who is not familiar with the way things are done, right? So you'll go, hey, why'd you serve rosemary, coconut, lime chicken? Regardless of how disgusting that sounds, why did you serve chicken? He goes, well, that was the only thing that they all ate. That is such an honest answer. Now, an actual chef would make 2 different things, maybe 3 different things, 3 different plates, but not Jono. Jono's just like, they said they were waking up at 8:30. Okay. That's what time I put the fucking eggs out there. All right. Jono's gone in an episode and a quarter. No more. So the Balkan biscuit continues her tutelage of cheese. We prep for a beach day. The bosun has to set the whole thing up and come back. More on that at 5 o'clock.
Did we pass by that quick little vignette where they were talking about perms?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, you did pass over that. Yeah. Okay. My dad had a perm. I didn't really have a good relationship with my father, but I do remember.
Big fat dad.
That's right. And it's really even odder when a dude has a perm.
Yeah,
like Mr. Brady. I think season 5 of the Brady Bunch, he had a fucking perm.
He died of AIDS, I think.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. Well, the 80s ruined people's fashion. And anybody my age or a peer of mine will know that the 80s were horrible. They did 2 things. Padded shoulders and women's makeup made every woman look like the singer of Twisted Sister.
Yeah. A lot of like steamed veg too.
Oh, yes.
A lot of steamed veg. Mm-hmm. I feel like Cole Robbie got brought out a ton in the 80s. Mm-hmm. I wasn't alive though, so I'm not really sure. So Aisha's staring down the barrel at 2 dudes who are on their way to completely and utterly incompetent. So Jono wants to make food that will retain its heat from kitchen to tender, to hypodermic beach that they're going to be setting up at, which is kind of impossible. But that wasn't the issue. Mm-hmm. I was thinking as he's spouting this nonsense, as he's going, I want to get it from the kitchen to the tender to the needle riddled beach. It's going to lose its temperature. You still got to put it out. I don't know what the capabilities are with this boat. You should probably just go to the beach and cook the food. I don't know if he could do that or not, but the real thorn in the side of this beach day is Ian. And I mean, Ian is like, I find myself asking, are you on fentanyl? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, well, all right. So I'm not sure if we are at the place where Sandy and him, they do like a little meet up there to discuss that picnic setup.
Yeah.
And she informs him he will stay on the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's a safety thing. And according to Sandy, safety is always paramount, except for that part when those 2 people were allowed to float several miles out to sea on paddle boards where no one noticed. Yeah. But I want to point out, Sandy, this is why I mock you. This is why I mock you. You say insane things like that.
This proposal is going to be the most boring fucking thing ever. Listen, we're happy for you, but
very happy for you.
So happy. Who doesn't deserve love outside of, sickos and fucking corporatists, right?
Right. Yeah,
but that
damn corporatists.
Well, you say that in a mocking way, but they are fucking disgusting. They're ruining the country. I don't know why we have to get into it. Okay,
well, not all of them. All of them.
Well, Patrick, we can have a nuanced discussion. Let me take that again. Let me try one more time. Take this again. We can have a nuanced discussion about the corporate takeover of this country off mic. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Let's make fun of sea rats.
You excited for that debate coming up on Thursday?
I don't plan on watching. I'm going on out to have drinks with my friends.
You should. So, Ian is not on fentanyl, but he is bad at being a bosun. I don't know what this insistence is on games. Aisha is like, I found out later they put it in the preference sheet, but what are we doing? We're on vacation. We're in our 60s. Why do we need games all over the place?
Yeah.
One of which was the long jump, which if you're not familiar is just jumping.
Yeah, that's the oldest game in mankind.
Yeah.
You run and you jump.
Yeah,
I set that up.
The Sea Rats set up long jump and a wicked game of I Spy for the ladies.
All right, a couple things here. Now, Dill, you already touched on Jono being very nervous about the lunch picnic, whatever, because he's in hot water. He could be fired at any time, more than likely the next episode. I would argue to Jono, let's not concern ourselves with the lunch so much as let's not prepare it in an hour and a half before you're about to serve it. I think you'll be fine.
Jono, you're going to be fine. Just don't do the things you've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So Ian goes and tells the Sea Rats that they've got to come up with the games. Gail, who is in love with her boyfriend, says, why don't we replicate the Olympic Games? And Ian tells her to shut the fuck up while he's eating. I mean, it's like, you just told them that you want them to come up with the things. What is going on with this guy?
Well, to be fair to Gail, she is the most genuine girl that Thing 2 has ever been in his entire life.
Thing 1, Patrick.
Thing 1. Forgive me, Nathan. That's right.
Yeah.
And if her boyfriend's watching, he might disagree.
Yeah. Well, he might. Who knows, though? I mean, we don't know the guy. He could be insane. So we head to the beach, and the feud is erupting. Ian has taken the come back to the boat directive as I'm going to go suck down a DC while you guys do all the work. Poor Thing 2 and Gail are aided at some point by a street child. I mean, there's a child in a Speedo that chips in more than their bosun.
Let me tell you something, Dylan. I think Forrest Gump walked less than these two to this goddamn beach thing.
Yeah.
Well, at least there weren't hypodermic needles on the beach, but it's still, that was crazy.
Well, one of the most unenjoyable experiences in the human condition, picking heavy shit up and walking a long way with it. I mean, it just sucks.
It sucks. Had to do that quite a bit when I worked at that amusement park.
So Ian is pissing off everyone, and the guests are ready to go. And they hit that tender very quickly. They arrive at the beach before literally anything is set up.
This was crazy. But par for the course with Sea Rats.
Par for the course for Sea Rats. They land, and there's one chair. Okay? But they do have long jump and volleyball with a net that is maybe 3 feet off the ground.
If you can rest your penis on the top of something, I don't think it's regulation.
Right.
No. When a 4-year-old could jump over it, it's not a volleyball thing.
Well, and you and I can't rest our penises on anything because they're so tiny. They just slip right off. That's why I love, carvings of antiquity so much. I see myself in the statue
Me
of David.
too.
Yeah.
The first time I went to Rome, I actually got to see what a penis that reflected my own.
Hey, I was born the wrong decade. Why can't I go back then? They'd love it.
Watching all the porn that I have over the years,
Yeah.
Of course that makes you feel inferior, but I should have grown up in Rome at 500 BC.
Yeah, no.
Look at me, I'm a cocksmith.
Right, you would have.
They'd call me Long Dong Patty.
yeah. Calm down. Now, listen. The thing with the way that the Romans had it is that they knew that. All right, so let's take somebody like Johnny Sins. Right now, he's got a sledgehammer. It's completely unbecoming for art.
Can you imagine that thing made out of cement?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the structural integrity would be a disaster. It'd probably break off after a couple thousand years. I mean, it's just they had it right. Let's talk about Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Let's see. I love this ad.
It is such an awesome company. I love Tropical Smoothie Cafe so dang much.
Me too, dude.
Pat.
Yeah, man. I don't think we've talked about this. They have wonderful acai bowls. They have flatbread. They have other amazing products aside from the smoothies that I love so much.
When me and Pat walk into a Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Pat goes, let me get one acai bowl and whatever smoothie makes the whales talk.
That's right. Except for whales, you can't have any of my tropical smoothies.
No, you cannot.
No, I already told you. You can't have it.
Yeah. So what you can do is go to the 1,400 plus locations, any one of them. And
preferably not near the water if you don't want those whales asking for some of your smoothie.
They get very greedy. They essentially become seagulls. They come out of the woodwork. You're like, how are there thousands of you? Because it's guava. Because it's mango.
It's mango. It's berries.
It's berries. It's mint. It's mojitos and more. Go to one of the over 1,400 plus locations of Tropical Smoothie Cafe. You're on Tropic Time now, or use the app with code BADTV. We love you much. Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Let's get back to the show.
Oh, yes. All right. Okay, so we have ring toss too, Dill. That's also from, I believe, the ancient Olympics in Greece. What are you looking for over there?
My phone.
It's right in front of you, you ding-dong.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. We have ring toss, volleyball. I don't think volleyball was in the original Olympics. And then, of course, the
volleyball.
long jump. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Great.
So the food is ready to go, and Jono is in the hot seat, so he's a little stressed. Right. But I would be stressed, too, if I had to work with Ian. There's an exchange here that demonstrates that Ian is on fentanyl. Jono says it's 2:14. Where are we? And Ian says, it's 2:15. So this is pristine below deck chaos, okay? The sea rats are just sea ratting all over the fucking place. One of the games is, as we mentioned, long jumping, which is like, it's so nuts that one of the games was run and jump.
So this is what I do if I was a sea rat, a savvy sea rat, you know. We're all like spreading out, you know, and like, all right, who's going to set what up? And I'll say, I'll set up the long jump.
Yeah. I'll set up a round robin. That's what they should have done. They should have just fucking slammed into each other. How many shoulders would have been dislocated if they had done that?
Quite a lot.
Yeah. So, we move on to the food arriving. There is shade for 1.5 of them, and they sit down and they suck down the best meal of the charter. But as they are doing so, a mutiny is brewing.
Afoot.
I mean, this episode had everything. Sea rat mutinies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the thing one and thing two and Gail, who loves her boyfriend, all gather and speak on what an idiot Ian is. And I think we cut back to pictures of that Italian grandpa who wasn't in the mob or anything. He just didn't like tattoos.
Yep. It still sucks. Still a 0. Hey, by the way, the barnacle that reached out to me privately, yes, I would like you to update the C-Rat SAD scale after each episode. We need someone
Patrick, listen, you do not have to do that. You do not have to do that. When you feel like updating it, you can. Like, let's say somebody comes on and says, at a tap dancing show, my dad came in and said, your mom's been hit by a bus. Go out there and get him. If that happens,
It's 8.
That's, if we need to bump up the scale, bump up the scale. I mean, you do have a job. But you don't need to do it every day, I don't think. I mean, that's very labor intensive.
It's once a week.
But why is this grandpa on the screen? It's like, it's less than a 0. It's bizarre. It's one of those things where you're like, why are the editors doing this? Are they in Dr. Seuss land? What does this grandpa have anything to do with what this man's saying?
And once again, I'm warning everybody in production and anybody that mentions this Italian grandpa, unless he blew up in a car with a car bomb as a result to mafia ties,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, it doesn't just have to be the mafia. I mean, let's say we've got an Italian grandpa. He's not in the mafia at all. Okay, he's walking down some kind of street market, some kind of bazaar, and there's a fruit vendor, and he's got one of his paring knives with him, and he just kills him with it.
Well,
and that grandpa was, a mentor to one of these C-Rats. If they told that story, mob, no mob, I mean, that's at least a 2.
A paring knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good score, but it's definitely on.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sandy says when the guests get back to the boat, she wants to transform that boat into a goddamn resort, which I'd argue is the initial intention of being on a yacht.
So many yellow stains, I would imagine. So Aisha does a performance review real quick. She says when it says Beach Olympics on the preference sheet, you should probably plan that. At some point, Ian is talking about how good of a job he's doing, and Aisha calls a Greek folk dancer. So that's going to be happening. Dinner is gazpacho and seafood pasta. And Sandy will be seated at dinner this evening. And because of that, Jono's nipples are hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Dill, am I an inferior food pig for just describing gazpacho as a fancy word for cold soup?
My darling mother made gazpacho over the weekend. It was delicious. But the thing about gazpacho is that it's a low ceiling food. It's just it's cold soup.
Okay.
You know, I don't want cold cucumber soup. You know, even, but what about on a hot day? No, I don't want that. I don't care what the temperature is outside at all. Just on the merits of the dish. I mean, it's disgusting.
Thank you.
But not. I mean, a good gazpacho can be a 7, but that's the best.
Now, are we at dinner, Dill, or do we have other details that we did get to?
Let me see. Did we talk about how we spent the same exact amount on the wars in the Middle East that Donald Rumsfeld said was missing from the Pentagon on September 10th?
I think you mentioned that the last episode.
Okay, all right. All right, so we covered that. Then, no, we've got a little bit to get into. So cheese seems to, and I'm kidding about all that stuff, okay? I don't,
Yeah.
It's just funny to me.
That's right.
Okay. So cheese seems to be doing well. The ladies get back from jet skis, and Timeshare has returned. She goes down to the kitchen, and he tells her what he's making. Again, similar to chicken and cake, he says, I'm going to serve them cold, wet soup and pasta. And I don't know what is happening with these 2-course chefs. Now, we did get a dinner to round out 3 courses, but the night before, I mean, he served them chicken and cake. And a lot, it happens so often on this show where, you know, the food is just not enough. You know, you were served, you know, broiled turkey and some kind of sweet thing, and then you want like a grilled cheese sandwich, and the chef's like, fuck off. And it's crazy. All right.
This show has done more damage to that fucking industry, I think, than anything that the world getting colder and turning the ocean into ice would do less damage than this show has done.
Well, that's what Greta's been talking about.
That's right.
Yeah.
How dare you?
That's a really good Greta. Oh my God. Yeah, I think it's so disgusting, you know, what these people, as Greta matures and she gets what crude pieces of shit call heavies. It's like, leave the girl alone. She's trying to save the planet. What are you talking about, her heavies? It's ridiculous. So,
Dare you?
and also, listen, I want to stop the world from being sick too, but let's not spray paint like Stonehenge and paintings that mean a lot to the world and mess up Scotty Scheffler's.
It doesn't help your cause.
No, I mean, just talk to Xi Jinping. Have a meeting with him and start there. Okay?
That's a great point.
So,
dinner.
Timeshare is activated. Very activated. The gazpacho hits the table. It is a gazpacho with a plantain chip and feta. And Gigi turns into a bit of a kind of a culinary basset hound. She's sniffing out the spices. All incorrect. But the question arises, where'd this recipe come from?
Yeah.
Okay. And Jono says, I don't know, some fucking old woman who's probably dead. COVID. And Sandy.
Oh, well, I wish you went that deep. He pretty much let on. It was a Google search.
Oh,
it was probably
Google
some,
search.
Can I teach this
I
young?
thought he said some old bitch that died of COVID.
No, I wish he did.
Oh, okay.
Because this is how Patty's going to help him. Rather than, say you looked up Google, for a recipe of someone who might have been around.
Yeah.
Say when your great grandmother died, you loved her a lot,
Right.
and then you play music under this or something.
Okay. Do you want me to do that? Or?
Oh no, you don't have to. But maybe the listening audience will just picture it in their head.
Okay.
So your grandmother died, and then you were like, "Wow, she's dead." And then you went up to her attic and you found a box, and under a pile of double-sided dildos, Grammy was a freak.
So what? You know what?
You found a book of recipes, and this recipe for gazpacho was in there, and that's why I'm serving it to you tonight, Dylan. Sometimes the details of a story are what sell the shit out of it. Okay, if I didn't put the dildo thing in there, I don't think they're buying it.
Okay.
Okay, I Googled it.
Right.
What story works better?
Well, okay. Sorry. Distracted. I'm a little distracted. But I'm going to try to move on. I'm going to try to move on.
I Googled it.
So crazy. Like, yeah, there's those communities in Florida where the elderly are just
Pounding away at each other.
just obliterating each
Oh, they have to bring so much sexually transmitted diseases medications in there.
Yeah.
It'll blow your fucking mind.
Yeah. But I hope that, like, I mean, listen.
The first time you should get herpes should be when you're 92.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to do a hot shot of heroin when I'm older.
There you go.
You know, feel it for the first time. Mm-hmm. Anyway, well, let's move on.
Okay.
So I don't think the I Googled a bubby recipe throws the scent that you have no idea what's going on any better than secret recipe. I mean, I think a lot of people, you know, if Jono was like, oh, it's a secret recipe and had served you chicken and cake the night before, you'd be like, okay, this guy has zero clue what's going on. Mm-hmm. So Jono is on the chopping block. Ellie is flirting with Thing 2 and Cheese is hurt.
Now let me touch on Thing 2 in this flirting.
Yeah.
Because she's throwing out the sexuality. And I appreciate that because that lets you know, like, oh, you're into me.
Cheese?
No. This was when the Balkan Biscuit tells Joe her crazy eyes because he goes, you got crazy eyes. She goes, you know what that means? It means I'm great in bed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like that. Throwing it out there.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's some stereotypes out there that just aren't true. Irish people clearly don't have issues with anger and drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
Italians don't have uncles in the mob. But girls that are crazy are definitely great in bed.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of life's kind of torturous little paradoxes, you know. And it is a stereotype.
It's the best sex you ever had. The bad news is she's throwing things at you.
Yeah.
Gotta happen.
Hey, can we just calm down and have sex again? You know?
Uh-huh.
Everybody's been there. And women, let us know, like, what is it the same way with guys? Are bad boys good in bed?
That's right.
I can't imagine men are good in bed, period. I feel like women are much better in bed than men, probably.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not docile enough creatures.
No, we're not. We don't pay attention to detail.
No. Uh-uh. Okay, so we have to get to the pasta, which is nothing short of a fucking 16-car pileup. The dish is cacio e pepe with a jumbo shrimp on the side. So let's do this. Let's not use the thickest pasta on planet Earth for this, right? It was like, I don't know. It was like fettuccine or something.
Yeah.
It was so weird how thick it was. And let's pick one or the other, right? Let's go with cacio e pepe or let's go with fruta de mare. If you want to do a seafood pasta, do that. If you want to do cacio e pepe, do that. Now, of course, you could combine them, right? But, you know, you could combine them in the way that, like, you could, you know, instead of using watercolor to paint, you could use feces. I mean, you wouldn't do it, but you could do it.
Can I point something out? Dylan, remind me. In the preference sheet, did they ask for a dinner that would have multiple courses?
Yeah.
Okay, 3 is technically... That doesn't fall
3
under...
is a meal at Caro's, okay?
Yeah, hey, honey, you want to split the mozzarella sticks? Yeah, I'll take that for course 1. Course 2, I don't know, plate of seafood pasta. And then I get dessert.
Yeah, so Jono serves the kind of food that fast casual nihilistic institutions serve, right? So places where you walk in, and if you're not completely numb to the world, you'll kill yourself after you leave them. Because it's the mozzarella sticks, it's the Southwest chicken egg rolls, it's the chicken fra diavolo pasta, and then of course it's a lava cake. And
now,
you get out of there.
I love California Pizza Kitchen, so back off.
No. California Pizza Kitchen is. I'm thinking more. You know what? I shouldn't be so snobby outwardly. Okay,
they also might be a potential sponsor, whoever you're going to throw under the bus.
Listen, okay, Soup Plantation.
Oh,
Soup Plantation. I've thought about killing myself pretty much every single time I've walked out.
I get so depressed.
Yeah, and Sizzler was a magical place for me. It's where we had divorced dad lunches all the time, right? But if you go back there without the rose-colored glasses of a child who just gets to spend time with their dad, it's a breeding ground for the next pandemic. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
All right. But CPK is
Any
very
place where you're sitting down and you look around at the other patrons, you're like, I don't want to be that person.
yeah. It's bad. But also, by that same thing, like you could go to Wolfgang Puck's restaurants and look across at somebody.
Sure. I don't want to be that dick.
Yeah. Right?
But in a different way.
In a different way. He's got money. This person's poor. So, the dinner's disgusting. And we get a cool history on Gigi's tennis career where she met the king and queen of Spain from afar.
Was this when she was almost throwing up at that seafood meal, too? She kept going...
I don't know how anybody could have kept that down. So Gail loves her boyfriend, but is falling in love with Thing One. The girl is a hopeless romantic.
Well, yeah, she's also genuine Gail.
Yeah, genuine Gail. Gigi. So Jono is losing it. He says the dessert is ready. It is absolutely not. Ellie walks into the galley and he says, "Oh, you." I mean, he's he's a dreidel right now. So
and those little round cakes are hockey pucks.
Hockey pucks. The dessert is overcooked. It's overcooked lava cake with wet ice cream that he forgot he had. One of the guests describes the dish as interesting. I don't know enough about baking, but what's inside the lava cake is not the same. It doesn't have the same kind of like structure of flour as the rest of the cake does. So if you overbake that, it turns into something that not only is the cake disgusting, but the inside is interesting. So 2 pots. But fear not, all will be fixed with a couple of gypsies playing cobblestone songs above deck.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, back to that description of dinner as interesting. Can you imagine someone critiquing you
in bed?
After sex?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and if they say it like
interesting good or interesting I have braces.
Yeah. Yeah. You said it like Cruella de Vil a little bit.
Who's that?
Sorry?
Oh, is that from... I don't follow that Disney horse shit. Isn't that the girl that has 2 colors hair?
You don't follow the Disney horse shit? Is that what you said?
That's right.
Oh, do you mean the films that kind of cemented Disney's legacy that they've gone on to ruin with your franchise that nobody gives a shit about?
You're referring to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Acolyte's pretty good.
Uh-huh. I bet it's interesting. 101 Dalmatians is not Lion King, but it's an important film.
Oh, well, I'm sure Elliot will check it out. It's the right age, 4 years old.
Well, I mean, it's a little brutal. Deranged old woman wants to slaughter over 100 puppies.
We were watching Marvel or Miss Marvel. What's it?
Yeah.
And we're 10 minutes in. She said, I don't like this.
Ellie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, it's too violent.
Yeah. Who needs fucking Siskel and Ebert when you've got Ellie?
That's right.
All right. What happens next in the show?
We get that performance by the 2 drunks masking as entertainers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Kermit cuts her finger.
What a little cottage industry they've hatched, right?
Uh-huh.
Just a couple of fucking drunks that just do that for free in the street. And then they get paid to go on a yacht. Mm-hmm. With all the merriment going on, Aisha does sustain an injury, and she keeps moving. She's a badass. The plates are shattering everywhere, which is an odd choice for a barefoot vessel, but fuck it. Mm-hmm. We kind of already poisoned the guest with jumbo shrimp. Now let's bleed them. We get to the next day.
Next morning.
Who's on first? I thought you were into him. I thought you were into him.
Oh, that's right. And if you want to hear the breakdown of how that really went down, our interview with the Balkan Biscuit will give you more in-depth perspective.
Yeah, I don't even want to, merit it really any discussion. Actually, I think that
you'll have to listen.
I think that you got to listen. I think that the Balkan Biscuit kind of clarifies what might have been a bad edit. Might have been a bad edit. Yeah. Which, that happens.
Gets the best of them. Dock boats, guests depart, and we get some feedback. According to Gigi, food was hot and a hot mess.
I mean, look at somebody like Omarosa. You know, you said the best of them, they can be taken down by a bad edit. I mean, look at somebody like Omarosa.
Yes.
You know?
Clearly got a bad edit. 14 times. No, I believe she's actually a horrible person.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. What was she, like a health secretary or something?
I think so. You want to hear a funny thing? This is when I was watching politics. The phone call to President Trump at the time, after learning she got fired, they patch her through because she wanted to set her up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you got fired.
Who did that?
I don't even know. It's the first I'm hearing it. I'm doing a horrible Trump. Who gives a shit?
No. Any Trump you do is a fun Trump. Just do your Trump. Anybody out there who wants to do a Trump,
I'm so sorry.
Just do a Trump. So, the Balkan Biscuit and Ellie kind of just say we're going to be best friends for life, and we're not going to fight over this. So the guest apart, I was a little high when I was watching this. So can you take this?
I'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right. So we get a tip meeting. Now this was interesting because Sandy does her normal critiques of each department. She said the deck killed it. And it's worth mentioning that the deck team also got 2 people almost killed, too. But she doesn't really care about that.
Right.
She'll chat about the food later with Jono.
Yeah, it wasn't so much of a pun as it was she just completely forgot that dangerous thing happened.
Yeah. You guys killed it.
Yeah.
And then Interior crushed it, $25K. Good on Gigi and all those other guests, $2,000 each.
Yeah.
Worth it, all the bullshit for that. Then we cut to Jono and Sandy. I was confident.
Well, can I really quickly say that Bree and we learned that Bree and Ellie are staying together in the same room?
I believe so. That's why it would
you know
be
what?
even weirder.
I don't need to backtrack.
That's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, but it's just
it adds another component to it because who's going to ask who to leave when you take thing 2 back to your bunk?
Well, and also, what if no one asks anyone to leave?
There you go.
Oh God!
Wow.
I mean, could we have our first C-Rat threesome?
We almost had one, I think, in the first season of Sailing.
Oh, with Gary and that Allie and the... Gosh.
Gee, I wonder what's happening with that new season of Sailing. I don't think it's coming.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have red-faced, rat-faced pieces of shit assaulting women. You know, you deprive everybody of great content. But, you know, that crew needed to get shaken up. They were very self-important. It's like, we love the Sea Dog, we love Colin, we love Daisy, but it's like, guys, you're not fucking all Richard Nixon. You know what I mean?
That's
it's like,
right.
What the fuck?
One of you can stay.
All right. And I only say Richard Nixon because when he was around, he was so important.
We don't need 3 of them.
No.
Jono and Sandy. The food was salty, chicken. I forgot that was his choice to make whatever he wanted that night.
Yeah, Sandy says, what's up with the cake and the chicken? And he says it was the only protein that all of them could eat, which is, like we mentioned, one of those accidental, kind of cupboard openings, like, oh, I'm a lazy piece of shit. That's why. I'm not saying that he is.
No. That's clearly, yes.
No. I'm not saying that he's a lazy piece of shit, but that was very, very harsh language. But that is, that's just atrophy. That's just, I don't feel like doing something that would, it's almost like, Jono, let's move on. Let's just move on. He's a culinary architect and he's going to be gone next episode.
I think so.
All right. We go for a night out and oh my gosh. Can I tell you really quickly?
What?
The fact that he isn't fired? Sandy says, well, you're not flipping out in the galley.
That is a low bar.
The bar for being on one of these boats, I mean, Cheese doesn't even know what a laundry machine is. It's insane. So we go out for a night on the town. Thing 1 has a chest piece tattoo that's going to be there for a while. That was cool to see. We land at dinner, have some talk of espresso martinis. Joe, I wish I had written it down. I forgot to write it down. He has some line that was like, it was so bizarre. It was like a Steve Carell character trying to hit on a woman. It was
he is a bit awkward.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of shocked that he is appearing to be the apex predator this season.
Well, he's got a wicked jawline. Wicked jawline.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Thing 2 and Ellie are flirting kind of a bit. And Cheese is pissed off. Now, the Balkan Biscuit says, I've told her numerous times that I'm into him, and it's a good idea not to hook up with the person that your superior is interested in. And when I heard that, I said to myself,
that didn't happen.
Okay, fascist.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with you, fascist? But listen to the interview. It gets explained. So we hit the dance floor. Ellie is going for Joe hard. And Gail, who loves her boyfriend, tells Cheese that, I think this is what therapists call projection. Gail, who loves her boyfriend, says, what was the name you gave her? Genuine Gail?
Genuine Gail.
Goes, listen, we're stuck on a boat. Sometimes you just gotta fuck. Yeah. And that's advice that Gail is giving to Cheese.
That's right.
She's not gassing herself up to make love to Thing 1, who has an eagle on his chest or something. Get in the iTunes range reviews, leave 5 stars, kind words. We love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Patreon.com/Another Podcast Network for ad-free episodes and additional content. We will be doing the live happy hour this week. Go to patreon.com. We'll post all the stuff there.
Yeah.
Okay. We love you guys very much. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.